We welcome you to the West Coast Conference this week. We are presented by Geico, and we come to you today from the beach. We are in Malibu on the campus of Pepperdine University. It's the St. Mary's Gales visiting the Pepperdine Waves. Take a look at the standings in the West Coast Conference. Gonzaga, they're in their customary position, 11 up and 1 down, 21-3 overall this year. BYU right there, 8-4. USF, a surprising year after losing arguably their best player at 8-4. St. Mary's is 7-4, knocking on the door, and so too are the hometown Pepperdine Waves, and that's what makes this game what it is today. And hello again, everybody. I'm Barry Tompkins once more with my partner, Jaron Collins. And, Jaron, every time I think I've got this West Coast Conference figured out, I realize I know nothing.
Well, what it comes down to is you have four teams that are in play for that second seed and that bye in the conference tournament. So it's going to be interesting coming down the stretch.
All right, let's talk about the game we have today. St. Mary's and Pepperdine. When you look at these rosters, they really match up very favorably. Both these teams very strong in the front court and very solid in the back court. Here's what they do. They average about the same amount of points. All right, on the defensive side, St. Mary's perhaps a little bit of an edge right here, but playing on the road takes that away. Everything else, very equal.
Well, look, both of these teams are playing particularly well. In their last outings, they both shot over 50% from the floor, so they've got it going on the offensive end. It's really going to come down to the defensive effort for both of these teams.
And it seems also that as both these teams' bigs go, so go the team.
Yeah, look, Brad Waldo doing an excellent job. Bo Levesque for St. Mary's. Bo does a good job of getting to the basket, but Brad, he loves that left shoulder. He's going to turn for that baby hook. Doing a good job, averaging about 2 assists on the year. He's demanding the double team in his last 6 games. He's averaging 20 points. Bo Levesque for St. Mary's, he'd been struggling in his previous 3 games. And then he had his breakout game last game against LMU, where he went for 17 points and 14 rebounds and a big double-double. Talked to him a little bit before the game where he felt as though a weight had been lifted off of his shoulders. For Brendan Lane and Stacey Davis for Pepperdine, they do a good job of owning the paint. Take a look at these numbers. They had 42 points and 16 rebounds against Pacific in their last outing. And this team for Pepperdine, they are 4-0 when both of these guys score in double figures in WCC conference play.
And they're bringing Stacey Davis off the bench now. Marty Wilson figuring that is going to help him, and so far it has. Here's what both coaches had to say about the Pepperdine big men.
It's a good matchup. They have 2 really good posts too, and both their posts can do the same thing. Like Davis can facilitate for others and can score, and then Lane is a low post presence that kind of demands a double team. They both do. So I think the key to Pepperdine is they're 2 post men, and they play off them a lot.
The one thing most people don't know is they're very, very smart offensively and defensively, and that's an advantage for us. Their physicality, their skill level, and then their intelligence.
Well, the truth is it's a terrific matchup up front.
Yeah, look, it's going to be a battle in the paint. We'll see what happens this afternoon.
Yeah, it should be great fun to watch this game. These 2 teams really almost mirror images of one another. Well, that's our game of the week here in the West Coast Conference. When we come back, the guys in the studio, that's Chris McGee and Dave Miller. They're going to take you a little bit of the way.
Welcome back to Geico WCC This Week in Los Angeles. I'm Chris McGee alongside the coach, Dave Miller. Coach, welcome. And let's Welcome back to Geico WCC This Week in Los Angeles. I'm Chris McGee alongside the coach, Dave Miller. Coach, welcome, and let's get you to the conference highlights from earlier this week. We start with Gonzaga, alone at the top of the conference. The only conference loss was at Portland back in January, but this time they're at the Kennel, and the crowd was into it from the start. Early on, Kevin Pangos dropping it off to Angel Nunez for the baseline jam.
Well, I love the screen, but it's the roll that shows his length and his athleticism. He takes off. It's an easy finish. It's almost up and away, twist and shout, the Louisville transfer getting his zag on.
But from that point on, it was all about the three ball. David Stockton out to Drew Barham. Nothing but net. Crowd absolutely loving it. Zags up 9.
Well, that's a big shot, but right there, that's an even bigger head.
I want one of those of you. It's Barham again, calling for it in the corner. Rattles it home. He was 3 for 4 from behind the arc.
That kid loves the corner three ball.
They weren't done, though, Coach. They got more in them.
Well, right here, that's Stockton. Hey, that's John's kid.
Pilots not going away. Yo, yo, yo. There goes Bobby Sharp coming off a screen. The hero from the last time they played. Mid-range jumper. Portland within 4 moments later.
Well, you're going to see more from our boy Bobby. It's a simple catch and shoot. He's not Bobby Boucher or the water boy that ties the game at 51.
You can do it. Zags would settle. Regain control under 2 minutes to go, up 3. Pangos with a 3 of his own, back up 6. One more chance for Portland to keep it close. Alec Wintering will have a good look. Nothing but air. Comeback falls short. Zags hold on to win 71-66. Santa Clara and BYU in Provo. Cougars going into the night tied for second in the conference. First half we go BYU up 8. Eric Meek on the post. Nice spin move, goes up for the dunk. It's a nice little roll.
Great fundamentals, pressure high, spin baseline, uses the rim. He protects the ball.
Mika finish was 15. Moments later off the missed shot, Tyler Hawes in transition. Pulls up for the smooth J at the free throw line. I like this kid, he's good.
That's your league leading scorer, BYU up 12.
He good. Second half, they're up 11. Hawes with the offensive rebound, puts the defender in the popcorn machine, as Chicky would say. Easy 2.
Well, you love it. It's a simple right here, a nice little shot fake. Step through low, finishing with the finger roll. George Gervin is smiling somewhere in Texas.
Cougars win easily, 89-76. Hawes had a game high, 27. LMU came into Thursday night's game, having lost 8 of its last 9. St. Mary's has dropped the last 2. St. Mary's off to a hot start. Stephen Holt finds Bo Levesque, cutting to the basket. Bo knows contact. Part of St. Mary's 14-0 run to start the game. Later in the half, Carter from deep. He would finish with 20 points. Gales up 16. LMU, though, they'd put up a fight, Coach.
Well, I love it. Anthony Ireland, he creates some space. He puts it off the glass for 2.
With that basket, he becomes the 4th all-time scorer in LMU history, passing Bo Kimball. Minute left in the half. LMU down 8. C.J. Blackwell, nice pass to Gabe Levin. Caps off an 11-0 run to end the half. Second half, St. Mary's dominating. Where's Waldo, Coach?
He's in the paint.
And he gets the lane. St. Mary's wins in a blowout, 77-58. Pacific and Pepperdine, Tony Gill and the Pacific Tigers in Malibu taking on the Waves in the middle of the pack with a 6-5 conference record. First half, Waves up 9. Brendan Lane getting position inside. Great hands on the catch. Layup plus the foul.
You like the hands. I like the seal with his lower body and the nice finish using the angle game.
He didn't make the free throw, however. Later in the half, Waves up 13. Stacey Davis draws multiple defenders. It's in the lane. Gets it to Lane. Easy 2. He was perfect 7-7 from the field. Tigers keep it close, however. Second half, 6 minutes remaining. Tony Gill, open at the top of the key, nails it.
He's a doctor, one of the smartest players in the WCC, slicing it up.
Wasn't enough. Pepperdine breaks the press with ease. Stacey Davis ending it with a layup. He had a game-high 24. They're going streaking in the quad. Pepperdine gets the win, 80-69.
Reminds me a little bit of Larry Johnson.
Avery Holmes hit the game winner for San Francisco the last time these two teams met in January. San Francisco at San Diego. Cole Dickerson starting off the game hot with 3s. Hit 2 in the first 2 minutes. Coach, they love Johnny D in San Diego.
Well, they do. Johnny D for 3 at the end of the shot clock. Play on, player.
Became the all-time leader in 3s in San Diego history with that one. But you know what? Tim Dirksen drives from the corner, gets the nice lane plus the foul. Don's up 4 at the half. Coach, here's San Diego up 3. Thomas Jacobs reads the pass the whole way. He knows what to do from there. Torero's went on a 10-3 run.
3rd floor.
Later, Don's down 2. Holmes Holmes, excuse me, know where the highway is? Game tied.
Is that sort of like homie?
Now under 2 minutes left, Dons with 3-point lead. Cole Dickerson in the lane gets to fall. Dickerson game high 21 points. San Francisco wins 74-67. That was a lot of highlights, but they were fantastic. Here's the West Coast Conference standings. Gonzaga 11-1. BYU, San Francisco tied at 8-4. Don't sleep on the Dine at 7-5, and Portland at 5-7. Coach, let's take a look back at the Zags win versus Portland. The Bulldogs getting redemption from that one game that they lost, and they did it with the 3-ball, 9 of them.
Well, when you think of that team overall, you've got to think a team of sharpshooters. They lead, they're third in the nation in three-point field goal percentage. When you think of Pangos, he's their leading scorer, shooting 44% from three. Dranginis also draining it at 38.6. And then Barham, he leads the team at 47.9 from three. If you go under on Stockton, he's going to hit the three. This is a team that loves to push it, but they've got great spacing, which equates to great shooting.
Yeah, and that's why they are one of the best teams in the country. All right, Coach, today's game, San Francisco taking on BYU. These guys are tied for second in the conference. The Dons have been a great surprise.
Well, they have, and you have to think back to when they lost their best player, Cody Dooling, their point guard, their coach on the floor. I credit Rex Walters for keeping this team afloat. He's my early vote for Coach of the Year. Cole Dickerson, Cruz Pinkins, they dominate inside. And this team really shoots the ball well from the field. This team certainly has the personality of their coach. They play extremely hard. They don't take possessions off. And the key to this game is going to be transition defense. Yeah. They've got BYU at home. This is a team that wants to get up and down the floor.
It's going to be a fun one. All right, coming up on the Geico WCC this week, UCLA transfer Brendan Lane got a second chance at hoops at Pepperdine. We'll take a look at his story ahead. Time for your WCC Player of the Week. Who else should it be? Tyler Haas from BYU, the junior guard, averaged 35.5 points. Time for your WCC Player of the Week. Who else should it be? Tyler Haas from BYU, the junior guard, averaged 35.5 points a game in wins over St. Mary's and Pacific last week. Shot nearly 60% from the field, 66% from beyond the arc. That's good. Even if you're not a math major, you know that. This is his second WCC Player of the Week award this season. Brendan Lane is making the most of an opportunity. After spending his first 3 seasons with UCLA in Westwood, he decided to jump over to the sunny beaches of Malibu to try and give it another shot at hoops. And he's done nothing but succeed, from playing sparingly with the Bruins to becoming a team leader with Pepperdine. Here's Amanda Blackwell with his story.
Finds Lane, too good a look, and capitalizes.
The first time Brendan Lane set foot in UCLA's Pauley Pavilion as a member of the Bruins was a dream come true.
You work your whole life towards that. It was kind of just a surreal experience. I mean, just stepping out there and playing in front of so many people and on that court and wearing that jersey is pretty special.
But sometimes when played out in reality, dreams aren't everything we expect them to be.
There was a lot of ups and downs there. A lot of injuries, so that kind of set me back. And then sometimes I'd play well, play a little bit, it would be really exciting. And then just kind of stuff that just kept putting me back. I mean, you start second guessing a lot. You start worrying and trying to think about what you can do, and just every little thing you're overanalyzing. You're playing, you're worrying about all types of stuff instead of just playing. The biggest thing is just going out and having fun, and you just can't really do that when you're not confident.
Instead of cutting his losses and giving up, Lane decided to try to rekindle his love of basketball. He made the decision to graduate in 3 years so that he could transfer and play his final year of eligibility somewhere else while getting a graduate degree.
It's time to transfer because there just wasn't much of a future there. At first it was difficult. It's hard to just get up and go to a different school, but when the time came, it started to be more and more comfortable with it, just kind of accepting, it's just time to move on, do new things.
So you decided to transfer to Pepperdine. What was it about that program that made you think this is the place for me?
The coaching staff and just what they're trying to do here. I just want to be a part of that. But I want to be a part of changing the program around.
Lane has made the most of his second chance. He's been a key factor on a Pepperdine team that has seen a great deal of improvement this season.
Brendan's been a blessing because he's allowed us to progress probably a little bit sooner than we thought we would. Just having an older guy, a veteran guy, a leader who can do a lot of things, who has done a lot of things on and off the floor.
He's brought in leadership, he's brought in maturity, experience, and then he comes in, rebounds, blocks shots, he draws a double team. So, it relieves a lot of pressure from everybody else on the team, especially when he's playing well. There's just so many different scoring options that we didn't have last year.
As for that confidence that took such a hit before he joined the Waves, it's back and stronger than ever.
It's night and day. At some points at UCLA, like when I was done with those 3 years, at one point, maybe I didn't want to play basketball anymore. I was just that down on myself in basketball that it just means a lot now to be able to just come here, play, and just enjoy it.
Before, he was just really quiet, kind of kept to himself, and you could kind of tell that, when he was at UCLA, that his confidence took a hit. And, here it's like he has the most confidence in the world. He's making jump shots, shooting jump shots. He's dribbling the ball, passing the ball to double teams. He's playing like a man possessed. He's probably one of the most mentally strong people I've ever met, just, from battling injuries and, not playing as much at UCLA and just going through everything that he's gone through and still having the mentality to stay mentally strong and just persevere. It definitely sets the tone for us as a team because, he takes that mentality onto the court.
I kind of love the game again. I kind of lost it for a few years, just got down on it. And it kind of, this new experience just really taught me why I love the game.
And you're happy with your decision?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, looking back on it, this has worked out perfectly.
For the WCC This Week, I'm Amanda Blackwell.
Great job, Amanda. Great story. Brendan Lane and the Pepperdine Waves take on the St. Mary's Gales at Firestone Fieldhouse in our game of the week right here at 1 p.m. And a bunch of other action in WCC. Gonzaga taking on Memphis Tigers and San Francisco Dons taking on the BYU Cougars. Both those games tipping off at 6 p.m. Coach, Brendan Lane, it's such a great story. I mean, he transfers from UCLA to Pepperdine. He's enjoying the game again. He's having a phenomenal season. Is his hard work and perseverance rubbing off on that young squad?
It certainly is. I mean, it's easy to listen and watch that little preview of him, that his goals are much higher than 10 feet. And he's got the experience that he can be that veteran. I love his game. He's a combo forward. He loves to shoot the trail three. He's also able to put it on the floor. He'll bang, and he's skilled in the paint with either hand. And after his redshirt year, he's much bigger. He's a lot faster, and he certainly is stronger. He's a welcome present in the paint. Marty Wilson needed him. He leads the team in block shots. And as you mentioned, I love his leadership. I love his toughness. And I also love that he holds guys accountable. Marty Wilson wants to bring in his kind of guys, OKGs. Well, it was a very good fit when he was able to find Brendan Lane, because whatever his future may hold, maybe some professional basketball overseas. If not, he's going to be a leader and a proud graduate of a WCC institution.
What are we looking for with St. Mary's in that matchup? Is it Lane and Davis versus Brad Waldo, the bigs, the guards? What do they need to look for in that St. Mary's game?
Well, I think it always comes down to the bigs. When you look at this league, the guards usually neutralize each other. But is Brendan Lane and Stacey Davis going to be able to impose their will? I think when they go out four out and one in, I think that's an offense, because they're both skilled, that is really hard to defend. When you think of Lane, I think of Bill Laimbeer in the sense that he's a big that wants to shoot from the perimeter. When I look at Stacey Davis, he reminds me of Adrian Dantley when they were paired up at Notre Dame for a year. He can shoot it inside. He loves to face you up. This is going to be a game, again, where it's determined in the paint.
Going to be a good one. That does it for me and the coach. We'll get you back to Firestone Fieldhouse after the break.
For the performance of our national anthem, as recorded by Pepperdine a cappella group, One by One.
We welcome you back to Malibu, California, the game between St. Mary's and Pepperdine. Guess who we ran into? He was the coach here. He was the coach at UCLA. Led him to a national championship. He's Jim Harrick, and he's with Kelly Tennant.
Thanks so much, Barry. Jim, you were here from 1979 to 1988 as a coach, your first collegiate experience. What was that time like here for you?
Well, you know, it was interesting. I spent 9 years at Morningside High School over in Inglewood, and I became an assistant coach and spent 4 years at Utah State and 2 years at UCLA as an assistant, and then got a chance to be a head basketball coach. And you come out to Malibu and you know, and I drove up here, my wife said, "Why did you ever leave?" And every time we come out here, you almost say that, but I had the most wonderful run here and unbelievable. And, you know, I was here, first year we went to NIT, and the second year we tied for the conference championship, but had a playoff game and lost. And the third year we went undefeated in league and won the conference championship. And I'd been going to the NCAA tournament for years and years. And I took my team. You think the players were excited? How you think I felt? And we got a chance to go to the NCAA tournament 4 times in the 9 years and went to two NITs and 1 playoff game. So 7 of the 9 years we were in the hunt. And that's what made it so much fun. We just had a great run. I see all the guys now. I talk to all of them. All the guys that played for us are still around. We have a bond, and the memories here are never ending.
Well, obviously such a special time for you, and now you see what the program's doing, and Coach Wilson has really got these guys to buy in, and they're continuing this great run as of late. What do you think of the way things are going?
I recruited Marty Wilson. I was in his house and recruited him and brought him here, and he played for me, and he also played for Tom Asbury after I left, and just love Marty Wilson and want him to do so well, and he's building it. Like you know, we talked about it. I said, slowly build it, get your own players. You know, you got to do a great job recruiting, but but there's 650 high schools in Southern California, and you bring a young person out here, and it's a good sell out here. This is a good sell. It's a great place to go to school, and he's doing a good job, and I'm proud of him, really proud of him.
Well, all your national championship experience in that year that you won at UCLA, I'm sure you shared a lot of great memories and words of wisdom with Coach Wilson, so we're so happy that you could join us today. Thank you so much, Jim.
My pleasure. Thank you, Kelly.
All right, Barry, let's go back over to you.
All right, Kelly, thanks very much. He's got that Masters sweater on. Did you notice that?
I saw that.
That's how life is for Jim Harrick these days. Here's what's down the road for us on the West Coast Conference Game of the Week. We'll be up in Portland next week. Pepperdine, these same Waves, and the Portland Pilots. And then one of the great rivalries in the West Coast Conference and one of the longest, St. Mary's and Santa Clara. We end our season back down at the Jenny Craig Pavilion in San Diego. It'll be BYU making a house call on the Toreros. Barry Tompkins, Jaron Collins back here. Jaron, we talked about the givens in this game. Let's talk about the X factor.
Yeah, definitely. For St. Mary's, you got to look at Stephen Holt. You know, he's the second leading scorer on the team. Does a really good job of assist-to-turnover ratio. He's played in a possible, out of 80 minutes, he's played in 78 minutes. He gets a lot of action out there on the court. And then for Jeremy Major for Pepperdine, 16 assists, only 1 turnover in the last 2 games, doing a really good job of facilitating, finding his guys, and then knocking down that 3 ball.
You know, really, these two teams almost mirror images of one another. They're good up front, and they're good in the backcourt.
Yeah, look, it should be a very competitive basketball game. We'll see who comes out with the victory. It's all important positioning and seeding going to the conference tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what everybody's playing for now. Should be a good one against 2 teams that are on something of a roll right now. It's St. Mary's and Pepperdine. Griffith's Observatory. Wonder what they're observing in this game. Opening tip-off is coming up from here in Malibu. Don't go away. We're coming back to Pepperdine.